A warm welcome to everyone. IEEE welcomes you all on board for Mastery of Basics 1.0, a session on web development. Our very own core members will be the speakers for the event. The speakers are Preksha Mathur and Sanya Pandita. We look forward to your active participation to make the most of this event.
Hey guys, good evening. Welcome for today's session. Thank you for taking out the time out and joining us for today's session. So today's session is hosted by IEEE WI PIT. So IEEE WI is basically stands for Women in Engineering. It's a technical chapter in VIT Vellore. And so IEEE WI is basically, it's a professional platform. It's a professional organization where it's dedicated to encourage and motivate women in tech. And it's an inspiring platform where girls, we promote and encourage girls across the globe to take up engineering as a career. And today, my friend Preksha and I, Sanya Pandita, we both are co-committee members of IEEE WI, and we're going to take you guys through the basics of web development in today's session. And having said that, Preksha, would you like to introduce yourself too?
Sure. Thank you so much for starting off, Sanya. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session. We are super excited to see you here, and I love the energy that is going on in the chat right now. And I hope that it will continue throughout the session. We'll be starting pretty soon. I will just wait for some more people. So yeah, till that time, I'll just introduce myself. Hello, everyone. I am Preksha Mathur, and as Sanya said, we both are co-committee members in IEEE WIE. And yeah, we'll be your host for today and hope that you will be able to build some amazing portfolios for yourself.
So guys, we'll just wait for like 2 more minutes for everyone to join in, and then we can start off for today's session.
Yes.
While explaining and when like we do a hands-on session for you guys, we'll just keep during that duration we'll just keep our camera switched off so that we just want to avoid any sort of lag and all of that for you guys. So otherwise, of course, we'll have a Q&A where we'll interact with you guys. We have a nice portfolio making session where you guys will get to code. It's a hands-on session, so it'll be an interactive session. We'll just wait for maybe 1 more minute and then we'll start off.
Yeah, thank you so much. I can see a few people putting some queries in the chat box. Thank you so much for that. You can definitely put all your queries in the chat box, and we will be addressing them for sure towards the end or in the middle whenever we get the time. So I can see one question, which is, will it be beneficial for the freshers? Of course, it will be beneficial. So this is, as you might have read the description as well, this is a basics like starter pack for you guys. We'll be starting from scratch. We'll be teaching all the basic HTML and CSS, and yeah, we all know that portfolios are a very in thing these days, and it will definitely be very helpful for you guys.
Okay, so I think a couple of people are there and they're excited, all waiting. It's 7:05. We should start off, don't you think so, Preksha?
Yes, sure, go ahead, Sanya.
All right, so I'll change my slide and just let me know if you guys can see the agenda slide.
Yes,
you can write.
we can.
You can? Okay, great. So before diving into the session, guys, I'll just walk you through what we're going to do for today's session. So first, we will be talking about what the internet is. Briefly, I'll just be explaining that to you. Then, of course, the main topic for today's session, we'll discuss what exactly web development is, and we'll go through some of the features of web development. And in the fourth segment, making a portfolio, like you can see in your screens, my friend Preksha, she'll take you on a hands-on session where you guys will learn the different codes and all of that, and then as well as type and make a portfolio. So it'll be a fun interactive session. And of course, along coding, we'll teach you guys HTML, CSS. You'll learn the importance, the advantages and disadvantages of theirs. And towards the end, you guys can, whatever questions you have, feel free to put that in the chat box. And we'll try and address as many as we can. And as the time permits, we'll try to address most of them. Okay. So having said that, I'll just change the slide. Let's move on. I hope the next slide is visible, how the internet works. You could put a yes in the chat box, maybe. It's visible? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for the yeses and thumbs up in the chat box. So, guys, before diving into the session, I'll actually want to briefly explain what exactly the internet is all about. Because here's the thing that we use every single day, right? Especially in the pandemic, sitting at home, all our classes, everything we do using the internet. So before we get started, before we start developing awesome websites and web apps for people to access through the internet, I think it's really important that we understand the fundamentals of how the internet actually works, right? So what exactly is the internet? Well, a lot of people think of it, as a cloud, something that's hanging around in the sky. It's super complex, super difficult to understand, but actually that's not the case. You can imagine it as, a long piece of wire. And this wire, it connects different computers to each other. So you might think, I hope the next slide is visible. Yeah, okay. So you might think that you have one computer, let's say in Seattle, okay, and the other in London, for example. And these computers, they can talk to each other and transfer huge chunks of data through this gigantic wire. Just imagine. Now, some of these computers attached to the internet have a very special job, right? For example, when, say, midnight, you're looking for Netflix or Google's homepage, or say Amazon, Flipkart, etc., etc. So there is this one computer that has to be online 24/7, ready to serve you all the data, the files that you are requesting whenever, at any point of the day, right? And so that computer, like you all know, I don't think that's something alien to you guys, it's called a server, right? And of course, the computers through which you request to access a particular website, like I said, for example, Netflix, Amazon, Google, etc., etc. We users, right? We request to see a particular website. Our computers are called the client computers. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slide with that. I hope it's visible. I think it's small lag. Yeah, I think it's visible now. Okay, so now you can imagine a web server as this giant library that's probably, it has to be open 24/7, and you can go there at any point of the day, at any hour of the day, and request to see any sort of website. Suppose you want to see the Google's homepage, or you want to see certain sports news, or you want to see the latest technological advancements. So you go to let's say techcrunch.com, right? So anything, just an example. And it would be able to serve you with all the files and data that you would need in order to view whatever website that you have requested. Now imagine if there's a library that's big enough to house all of these websites, and across the globe there must be millions of websites, right? Then it's obviously going to be pretty difficult to actually quickly locate the thing that you want out of this library, right? So how is that part of the problem solved on the internet? Well, let's say that you're sitting at home, you're on your computer, and you type in google.com, okay? Because you want to head over to the Google's homepage. Now, what happens behind the scenes is that your browser will send you a message, right? Your browser, when you type, let's say you go to your browser, you type www.google.com, any website that you want to access, your ISP, that is your internet service provider, will send a message. Okay, it'll send a message, and this message is something that it forwards to the DNS server. Now, a DNS server is essentially, it stands for Domain Name System Server. You can think of it as like a souped up phone book. Now, what happens is that whatever request you've put through your browser, the DNS server will look up for it in its phone book, in its database, as to what exactly is the IP address of that website that you're trying to access. In this case, we're trying to access google.com, right? Because you want to head over to the Google's homepage. So that's exactly. So DNS server, it's going to go through its database and it look for the exact IP address of the website that you're trying to access. And of course, every single computer that's connected to the internet has an IP address, right? I'm sure all of you are aware of it. So this is like a postal code sort of thing for your computer, so that when people need to send or receive files through the internet, each computer can be located by the unique IP address. So once the DNS server finds the IP address, it sends back that to your browser. Okay, so once it's located the IP address of the website that you're trying to look for, that you've requested for, it sends the IP address back to your browser. So now you know the exact IP address where you can find the particular website that you want to access. And in our case, we took the example of google.com, right? The next thing that happens is that you will send a direct request. Your browser will send a direct request to the address through your ISP. So what happens is, let me sum it up for you until whatever I've told here. So you have a browser, you're writing google.com, your browser contacts your ISP, Internet Service Provider. All of us have, right? Airtel, Jio, BSNL, right? So that ISP contacts your DNS server. Your DNS server tries and looks for the IP address of the website that you want. Once it has found the IP address, it gives it back to your browser. Now, what your browser does is, through your internet service provider, it contacts that server, that IP address ka server. So, of course, in this case, it's going to be Google server, right? Now, it's not going to be anything else but Google server, because that's the website that you all want to access. So this message will be delivered via what's called the internet backbone. So your ISP will contact that particular IP address through what's called something as the internet backbone. Now, the internet backbone isn't some sort of analogy or some clever programming. It's literally the backbone of the internet. And actually, if you head over to something called as the submarinecable.com, we just probably, after the session, go and type up submarinecablemap.com. You can view all the underwater cables that power the internet. And the internet is made up of all these huge sprawling masses of wires connecting all of the world's users. As you can imagine, it's pretty complex world out there, right? Okay. So now let's say if I'm sitting in London, for example, and I want to see a website that's hosted in the United States, then my browser would have to make a request that goes through one of these complex cables, let's say under the Atlantic Ocean, in order to reach the States. And once my computer has, the other computer in the States has received my request, then it'll send back all the relevant data and files that I've requested for through these giant cables. And to navigate all of this crazy underwater uh, wires, let's say, all you have is just an IP address. How crazy is that? Just imagine. So it's like as if I'm saying, I'm sending a letter halfway across the world to my friend, and my only hope is that it'll reach my friend through this postal code that's written in front of the envelope. So once I've gotten the IP address of the website that I want to access, then my browser sends a message through the internet via my ISP, like I told you guys, and the ISP will contact that particular IP address's server. And then it'll load the server will give you back all the information, the data, the file, whatever is relevantly you've asked. It'll give that back and load onto your computer. It'll load onto the client's computer. So you can imagine all of this happens in just a matter of milliseconds. How fast is that, guys? All of this navigation and searching, processing your IP address, going to the DNS server, loading it back for you, etc., in a matter of milliseconds. How cool is that, right? So having said that, I hope I've briefly explained what the internet is about. Let's move on to the next slide. I hope it's visible. We'll understand what a website is. And yeah, I think it's there. Okay. So yeah, like you all know, I'm sure a website is a collection of related pages that may contain text, images, audio, etc. Right? You all know better than me probably what a website is. And the first page of a website is called, of course, the home page. And if you want to see, say, Amazon.com or certain information, let's say Flipkart.com, all you have to type is the URL, right? Uniform Resource Locator, something which we all use every single day. We go type in Google.com, we go type in Gmail and all of that. So you have to use the URL, and that's how you're going to make the request to access that particular website. And okay, moving on to the purposes of a website. Why do we need to make a website? I think the page still has to load. Yeah, it's there. Okay. So what's the purpose? Why should we learn web development, and why should we even make a website? Why take all the effort and make a website? So like you can see on your screens, a popular website is another name of success in modern terms, isn't it? Because everything today, say Netflix, say Amazon, it's at your doorstep. Say pharmacy, anything, medicines you want, it's at your doorstep. You want to watch a show, it's at your doorstep. If you want to know about a particular institute or organization, an MNC, let's say you want to know about VIT, every organization has a website of its own, right? It's like one stop where you can get probably all the information that you might need about them. And that's why we make websites. So of course it's an important, it's like a huge business in today's day. So these are some general purposes of a website. Why do we need websites, and all of that. Now coming on to HTML. I'll just wait for the page to load. Let me know if it's there, guys. You can probably, put up a thumbs up in the chat box or say yes, so that I know it's loading for you guys and there's no lag maybe. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so like some of you must have studied about HTML during your school days. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and in short, if I have to talk about HTML, it's basically the skeleton, the structure of your web page or website. It decides how your web page is going to look. The basic structure, the skeleton, the framework of your web page or home page. So from here, my friend Preksha will take you guys on a hands-on session for HTML, where you guys will get to build a portfolio for yourself. And yeah, if you have so far, if you guys have any sort of questions to for whatever I've explained, you can put them up in the chat box. And until then, you could see maybe a link in the chat box. Preksha, have you sent that?
Yeah, I just send the link. I think it'll just go like just they'll just get it in a few seconds. Till that time, you could show the page, and I'll take it over from here.
Sure, sure. So guys, in I think a couple of seconds, you'll see a link in the chat box. That link will be pinned up for you guys, so you wouldn't have to scroll much. You can just use that link and probably, just log on to the website. And once you log on to the website, you can just click on remix to edit icon. I'll just wait for the link to come for you guys. I think it's just taking a couple of seconds. Anyways, guys, until then, if you guys have any questions, we can address those. I hope you've understood whatever I've explained about the internet so far, websites, why we need them. Can I ask about a thing that hasn't been discussed yet? Yes, if it's relevant, you can. Go ahead. If it's relevant to web development, HTML, CSS, internet, whatever, you can go ahead. Perhaps the link is taking a while.
Sanya, we have some questions on the screen. If you could answer.
Yeah. Okay, so I think someone's asking why is the Google server not costly? And because it's necessary or it's easy to make. Okay, I mean, it's probably because it's working for a larger chunk of people, and the benefits just add up. The cost of having a server is actually very less. Like, we're running Linux on the server, which is open source, right? So yeah, those are some possible reasons.
Yeah. Hey, Sanya. I
Yeah.
think everybody can see the link in the chat box now. I think it has been pinned as well. There was some delay. I think there was some glitch with the live chat. So I hope you all can see the link. I want you all to click on that link. So you'll see a platform opening that is known as glitch, and that is what is being shared on the screen. So something like this will open for you all. The first thing that I want you all to do is to sign up before moving here and there. Just sign up first, and then we want you all to click on Remix to edit. You can see it highlighted on the screen as well. So just click on the link. The glitch platform will open up for you guys. It might take some time. It takes like 2 to 3 minutes if there's some load in the server. And then after that, I want you all to click on Remix to edit. All right. So we will be waiting for you guys. This is a very crucial step. So just sign up and then click on Remix to edit, as you can see on the screen. All right. And after you're done with that, just give like some reaction, just thumbs up or +1, whatever you want. I'm going to wait for like 2 to 3 minutes for you all. And I also hope that you have an image of yourself ready. We are basically coming on to the hands-on part of the session. We will be starting with the building of our portfolio, and this we are going to have on the Glitch platform. All right. So I want you all, I'll just repeat what I said. I want you all to sign up. And after that, I want you all to click on Remix to edit, as it is as shown on the screen. All right. And then just give me a thumbs up, give me it's done, or any reaction. Okay, I can see some of you have done it already. I'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Take your time. The site sometimes takes a little bit longer to load. And after you guys are done, we can then start. All right, I can see a few thumbs ups. If you have any doubts, if it's not opening, if there's some issues, just put it in the chat box. We're here to help you guys. All right, so I'll start at 30. I can see a lot of you are here already. So if you're able to see my screen, this is the page that will show up for you guys. IEEE Women Engineering in the center and my name on the right side. I see a lot of thumbs up. That's awesome. Yeah, just a reminder again, keep your image ready because we'll be using it for the portfolio. Along with that, your Instagram or LinkedIn profile link as well. All right. And if you don't have an image, it doesn't really matter. You can just download any random image from the internet and just keep it with you. Awesome. I can see a lot of done-dones. Great. That's awesome. So you already know about IEEE Women in Engineering. So what are we going to do today? We are going to have a hands-on portfolio making session. All right. So this page that you're already in. All right. So on the left side, this is where we'll be coding. All right. This is where we'll be writing our code and building our website. And on the right side, where you see my name, which is Preksha Mathur, and let's build your portfolio together. This is where you'll see all the changes, okay, reflecting side by side as you code. All right. So where we are on the README page. Okay. So it's already written for you guys as well, but I'll just run it through you guys as well. So readme.md. So this is the file where you tell something about your profile or something about what your project. All right. What have you done in this project? What is this project about? What tech stacks have you used? All right. Or any information you want to give to the user or someone who visits your portfolio, someone who visits your website, you write it in the README section, okay, which is this README file. All right. Then we have the index.html. So this is the file where we will be coding. Okay, this is the basic structure and content of the portfolio. We'll be coding on the index.html file. All right. Then we have the style.css. So, in order to add some styling, in order to make it more attractive and appealing, that is where we will be putting, some style. We'll add some style. We can, put some background color. We can change the color of text, all of that to make it more appealing. That is all of that is done in the style.css file. All right. All right. And if you're feeling more fancy and you want to add interactivity to your site as well, you can go ahead and, explore further, and you can add some animations to your page in the script.js, which is the JavaScript file. So for today, let's first of all, I hope you all are on the same page. I can see a lot of thumbs ups as well. So let's just go on to the index.html file. Okay, I want you all to follow. These are the first few steps. I will go slow. Just ping in the chat box if you have any queries. Just write it down. Okay, I'll wait, and then we can increase the pace slowly. All right. So let's come on to the index.html file. I want you all to click on index.html, which will be on the left hand side. So just click on the index.html file and come to this page where your basic code is already written, right? So we've pre-written the code for you, okay, and we will be customizing it together today, to make it more personal. So I hope you all are on the index.html page. I hope you're on the same page as me. Just give me a yes, we're here, let's start. Anything you want. Yeah, it's no issues, Vedansh. Many of us, this is just a starter pack, as I mentioned earlier as well. Okay, I'm going to take you through one by one through each line. All right, and we are going to do it together. No issues if you haven't coded before, and if you're seeing a code, this big code for the first time as well, no issues at all. Okay, we'll be going slow. I'll explain everything, so nothing to worry about. All right. All right, I see a lot of yeses. So let's go. Okay. Okay, let's just jump onto it. All right. Now, in the fourth line, you can see a title tag. All right. I want you all to do the first change. Okay. I want you all to write Preksha or whatever your name is. You write that. I'm going to write Preksha Mathur. Okay. I'm sharing my screen as well. So those of you who have any doubts, you can just open the window side by side and see what I am doing, and then just follow along. All right. So in between the title tag, I have opening tag and closing tag. I've written my name. I want you all to write your name as well. All right. This is the first change. The second change that I want you guys to do is in the 23rd line, which is below body, I want you all to write your name again. So my name might be written over there. Just remove it. Just remove my name from there and write your name. So I have written Preksha Mathur over here. All right. So the first change that we did was we wrote in between the title tag, we wrote our names. All right. And again, in between the H1 tag, which I'll be explaining everything. Don't worry. I just want you guys to, get a feel of how this platform works. I want you all to write your name in between the H1 tag as well. All right. So by now, almost all of you will already have noticed the changes. So right beside you, you might have noticed your name just changing, right? So it's changed from Preksha Mathur to whatever your name is, right? So this is what is going to happen. Your changes will reflect on the right-hand side immediately, as in when you code. Now there's another way in which you can view your site, view your full view it in full scale. That is through the show option. All right, I hope you are looking at my screen. So this is the show option. You just click on show and then you click in a new window. So there are two options, right? So there's next to the code and there's in a new window. So right now next to the code is selected, right? If you click on in a new window, your portfolio, your website will open in a new window, right? And you can see the title on top. It says your name, and the heading H1 also your name bold right in right on top, as we want it to be in a portfolio. All right, awesome. So I'll wait for 2 minutes and then we will move further. I will explain the lines. I'll start with the explanation part as well. So I'll wait for 2 minutes. I hope everybody has made the change and already are feeling how cool is this. We've already made our first change, and congratulations, you've started building your own portfolio. So yeah, I'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll move further. Give me a yes, we're done, or thumbs up. Give me some reactions on the chat box. Okay, I hope you all are done. Done. Awesome. All right. So for those of you, I know it's most of us here who do not know what is written, what is this line, what does doctype mean. So I'll explain one by one, and then we'll start with the coding part again. So the first line here that you can see is doctype HTML. Okay, so this is basically a special tag in HTML, which is always written at the top of the HTML document. Okay, basically at the start of the HTML template. So what does doctype mean? Doctype is used to convey to the browser about the HTML version. Basically, whatever the file that we've written, it is going to be in HTML. All right, this is what this means. Now the next line that we have is HTML language is equal to EN. This is pretty basic and self-explanatory, right? So whatever the language that we are writing in is English. This is what the second line means. All right. Yeah, so I've explained the first two lines, and I've explained the first two lines, and we've made the first change to our portfolio as well. I hope you all are following. Yeah, after this we see the head tag. All right, now before that I want to explain something to you guys, and that is opening and closing tag. All right, so here you can see we've written head 2 times, right? And we've written HTML also 2 times, this and this. As you can see, I'm highlighting it. So what does this mean? So there are basically opening and closing tags. So what is the difference between opening and closing? There's no difference. You just have a slash, in the closing tag and not in the opening tag. So generally all, attributes and tags have both opening as well as closing tag. But there are a few exceptions, which are self-closing. All right, which we will be coding, which we will be using in further in this session itself. So these self-closing tags, I'll give you an example right now itself, like links and images. Those are self-closing tags. So everything like title, we have an opening as well as we have a closing. So you wrote your name in between the opening as well as the closing tag. So this is something very important and crucial I want you all to see. All right, we have for almost all, we have an opening as well as we have a closing tag. All right, so this is what opening tags and closing tags means. All right, after this, yeah, as I was saying, head. So we have the head tag. Okay, so this is the first element inside the HTML tag. All right, inside our HTML file. Now this is used to provide information to the browser about the page and its content. All right, so basically all the information pertaining to our portfolio is written inside this head tag, which you can see over here. Okay, I've highlighted it. So everything which is between this is your all the information about your portfolio is written between the head tag. So this can include your title, which you just changed. You have the meta tag inside this. You have and CSS, JSS, external links, whatever we want to import into the into our file, into our HTML document. Everything is written inside the head tag. All right, now I mentioned meta tags. So what are meta tags? You can see the meta tags in the 5th, 6th, and 7th line. All right, now these meta tags are basically these meta links basically tell the website how to render its page. Okay, it is a description of the content on the page. Okay, like for example, viewport impacts how your content appears on the mobile. So since you guys are beginners, I won't go in detail over here. I want you all to explore the basic syntax as well, but this is the basic thing that I can tell you guys, that is these basically tell the website how to render its page. Okay, so these are the meta tags. And then we have the links. Now this is another important component. So links help us to import other files into this HTML. All right, so the first link that you see here is the style.css style sheet. All right, I hope my cursor is moving and you can see. Yeah, So this is the first link that we have. So this is basically importing the style.css sheet, which we will be working on later on. Sanya will be helping you guys with the styling part as well, which we will be doing in the style.css file. Right now we're working on the index.html, right? Yeah, so this is basically going to import that file in this HTML document. All right, and then we have the next two links you see here. These are for Google Fonts, okay, to import the various fonts we use in the portfolio, and also a very famous icon library known as Font Awesome, which also we'll be using in the session further. All right, so these two are basically importing that. This is the Font Awesome library. So this is basically an icon library for LinkedIn, for Medium. You have these icons, right? You might have visited some portfolios and you might have seen that, right? So this is the link that will help us to put those icons on our portfolio. All right, so I hope you have no queries till now. Everything is clear. I just took you through the head section. Right. Next up, we have the body. All right. So this is the body tag, as you all can see. Right. It also has an opening and it also has a closing, as I mentioned earlier as well. Now, whatever HTML code is written inside this body tag will be shown by the browser as website content. So whatever we are going to write inside these body tags will be what is visible to the user. Whoever is visiting your website, everything that we write is going to be visible. For example, we've already done that part, right? We've written H1, our names we've written, which you can clearly see it is in bold, your name on the right side, right? That we have written inside the body tag, right? As a H1 heading. Now, what do I mean by H1? H1 is basically a heading tag, all right? So we have different levels of heading tags. There's H1, there's H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. There's 6 different levels, and these all differ in size. So H2 will be slightly smaller than the H1 tag, okay? That is what heading tag does. So we have written our first heading already. We've written H1, which is the biggest of them all, and we've written our name, right? So if everything is clear till now, let's just go back to the fun part and just start coding again. Give me a yes, give me a anything you want. If everything's clear till now, then we can just move on to writing more stuff and customizing our portfolio even more. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. So now, as you can see, there is this p tag here, right? What does this p tag mean? I hope you might have guessed it already. It's a paragraph tag, all right? So this paragraph tag, we can write something about ourselves here, all right? Before we write something about ourselves, right now it's written, let's build your portfolio together. We can obviously remove that and write whatever we want. But before that, I want you all to, type H2, all right? I want you all to type H2, all right? And then I want you to write about me. All right, I want you all to do this. Write H2 and then write about me. As you can see, the change might have been reflected already. Yeah. So what we did was we created another heading here, right, which is slightly smaller than the about me part, right? We have the H2, we've written about me. Yeah. Now let's add a p tag. I want you all to follow, okay? Please be alert. We are now coding. I want you all to follow along. So what have we done till now? We have written the H1 tag inside body. I am right now, if everybody can see it clearly. We have written the H1 tag. We had the paragraph tag where you can write anything you want. I have written, let's build your portfolio together. You can write, hey, thanks for dropping by, whatever you wish to write here. All right, the thing that I've highlighted. And then after that, I want you all to write an H2 tag. All right. In this H2 tag, I want you all to write about me. This is a heading. All right. And below this heading, I want you all to write a p tag. And here we'll be writing about ourselves. Okay, so I'll write, hey, whatever you wish to write. I'll be writing, hey, I'm Preksha Mathur, second year student at VIT Vellore. All right, and I am a coding enthusiast. Whatever you want, again, this is all up to you. This is your portfolio. Go ahead, write whatever you want. Okay, and as you might be able to see on the right side, everything that you're writing here, it is simultaneously being deployed on the right side as well, right? You will be able to see all the changes. So yeah, I hope you all are done till now. So basically we added a heading, okay, which is slightly smaller than the name heading, right? H1 say slightly smaller as H2 tag. So we've added that here. And after that, we've added a paragraph, right? A paragraph about ourselves. So you can enter, you can have it as you wish, all right? So we have added a paragraph as well over here. All right, I'll wait for 2 more minutes. All right, and then we will start. I will discuss further. I want you all to give me a thumbs up. I want you all to tell me that you're done with this, and then we'll move forward. All right, I'm giving you guys 2 minutes for that. You can write anything you want. You can write about me, you can get to know me, whatever you want. You can personalize it according to yourself, and even in the paragraph you can write whatever you wish. Yeah, just make it as personal as you want. All right, and yeah, I'll start after a minute or so. All right, I hope you all are done with this part as well. Let's go on to the next part. All right, so here we'll be adding an interesting element. All right, we are going to add a UL element. More on that later. Let's just come to the code, right? Learning by doing is the best way of learning, right? So I am below the, you can add it anywhere you wish again, but I want to do this below the paragraph tag itself. All right, I want you all to add a UL tag. All right, and in between the UL tag, I want you to add an LI tag. Okay, I'll be explaining. Don't worry at all. Okay, and one second before my bad. After the paragraph tag, just add an H3 tag or H2 tag, whichever you wish for, and write hobbies. Okay. Yeah, just add hobbies. All right, and after that, I want you all to do this UL. All right, and after that, I want you to write your hobbies. Okay, you'll see it automatically on the right hand side what we're doing, right? It will automatically get deployed. So in between the LI, I want you all to write your hobbies. Okay, in between the LIs, I want you to write your hobbies. So I'll create one more. I'll write coding here. I'll explain again. Don't worry if you're not able to follow. Yeah. Are there any? Awesome. Okay. So what we did till now is we added an H2 tag over here. Okay. And after that, we have added a UL tag. All right. We've added a UL tag. Okay. I think there's some internet issue with my thing. I hope it is visible. Yes, it is. Awesome. Awesome. Right. So I hope you're able to see my screen. So you've seen what I've done, right? I've added an H2 tag, and H2 tag. In between that H2 tag, I've written hobbies. All right. So this is what I want to show in my portfolio. Again, you can write anything you want. I'm assuming that you don't have any projects yet, but if you do, you can write projects as the heading, and then and then you can write your name of the project. So what we have done here is we've basically created an unordered list. All right. So this UL element basically signifies an unordered list. All right. And then we have the LI tags in which we have written our headings. All right. So UL stands for unordered lists. Okay. And LI stands for list items. Okay. And inside that we have written our this yeah, your headings. Okay, so I want you all to write H3 here, just to be even more I want you all to write H3 as well after the li, so that we have easier. It is easier to style it afterwards, right? So we have an H3, and then you can write coding here. So I'll repeat once again. No need to worry at all. We have the H2 tag in which we have written hobbies. All right. After that, we have a UL tag. All right, and in between that UL tag, we have added our list items. Okay, list items where we've added our H3 tag, which is even slightly smaller than your H2. Why have I added that? Because it's easier to style and keep track of. So H3, and then I've written my first one, and after that, in the next li, I've again written H3, and I've written my second one. All right, second hobby. So my hobbies are baking as well as coding. All right, so this is something new that we've done. Let me know if there's any queries. So we've basically added a unordered list. All right, I want to obviously I want to describe myself more, right? So again, you can write anything you want. You can write hobbies, you can write blogs, you can write projects. That is something I'll be doing in this also. I'll be writing about my blogs. All right, I'll be doing that as well. Let's add another why not, let's just add another ul. All right, and then we can add the yeah, we can add the next ones also, right? Yeah, so we'll add the next one as well. I'm going to write blogs. You can write anything you want. Okay, and then I'm going to create a ul, and inside that ul I have an li, right? And inside that I have an h3, and you write whatever your blog is. You can write I have written a blog on artificial intelligence. All right, awesome. So I've just written one for now because I want you all to follow along. All right. So yeah, what have I done till now? I've added an H2 tag. I've added another thing about myself. I had added hobbies, and now I'm writing my blogs. You can write anything you want again. All right. I've added blogs, and after that, I've added a UL tag, which is basically denoting an unordered list. All right. And post that, I've created my first list item, which is my first blog that I've written, which is artificial intelligence in medical industry. Okay, so this was a blog that I had written like in my first year. So yeah, that is what this basically shows. And if the time permits, we can even add the links to these blogs, so that the people can just like click on the blog, and they can just be redirected to my blog as well. If the time permits, I will definitely show it to you guys. Just give me a thumbs up, give me some indication that you guys are done with this much and are actually enjoying. I can see a lot of comments in the chat. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, just tell me if you're done with this. Write done, write thumbs up. If you've created a hobbies and hobbies heading, and if you've created a blogs heading, and if you've written something inside that, you've created your first unordered list. So just tell me in the chat if you're done with that, and then we will move on. I'll wait for you for 2 minutes. We are actually going to come to the interesting part after this. We are going to add images to our portfolio after this. So that is why I'd asked you guys to keep an image of yourself ready. Those who are done, keep it handy. We are going to upload the images over here on this platform. And also your links, keep that ready as well. Is everyone done? I'll wait for 1 more minute because this is a lot to absorb. But I hope you all are following along, and I'm not going too fast, I hope. Let me know if you guys need like a recap of what we've done till now. I'll be doing that pretty soon.
Preksha, I think a couple of people have said that they're done
Oh,
in the
awesome.
chat
Great,
box.
great. I think there's a lag. There's some network issue. Okay, awesome. That's so cool. You guys are following along. I'm so happy. All right. Now I want you all to look closely at what I'm going to do. Go to your assets folder. All right. You might be able to see assets just below new file. Go to the assets folder. All right. And click on upload an asset. Okay, click on upload an asset, and I want you to go on. You can click any, you just click your picture wherever you've saved it on your desktop, just upload it here. So uploading part we all have become very used to, right? Uploading all our assignments and everything. So yeah, just upload your image wherever you've saved it, on your desktop on your downloads, wherever the image is, just upload it over here. We'll be adding this image. All right. If you don't have an image, if you didn't get the time, no issues at all. Just download any image and just save it in your desktop and then upload it over here. All right. So after you're done with this, after you've uploaded your image, I want you all to click on the picture. All right. Just click on the picture, and whatever link you see here, I hope you are able to see my screen. So just click on copy. All right, click on copy. Just like beside the link, you can click on copy. All right, and then you can come to your index.html file again. I'll wait for a few moments. Yeah. So once you've copied, you come back to your HTML file, okay, and wherever you want your image to be. All right, I want it to be below my about section, below my where I've described myself, right? So remember I mentioned self-closing tags. Yeah, so this is one of them. All right, so I'm going to write the image and src attribute, okay, and I'm going to just paste the link whatever I copied here. All right, and then I'll close it. All right, so what have I done? Yeah, so I've added an self-closing image tag. All right, and then after that I've just closed it. All right, I've closed the image tag. So most of you might be able to see it already on your page. The image might have been uploaded already. It's taking a while for me. Oh yeah, it's here. Awesome. If you, yeah, I think you're done. All right, so what did I do? I just created an image tag. I wrote image src is equal to, all right, so this is how we upload images. All right, so we just copied the link from the assets where we had uploaded the image. We clicked on it, we had copied the image path. Then we came to this, we created this self-closing image tag. We wrote src is equal to, and then in quotes we have put the link. All right, and we've closed it. How do you close it? Slash, and you know the deal, right? Now by now you must have gotten the idea of closing tags and opening tags as well. Yeah, so once we do that, you can see our image has been uploaded on the right hand side. And if you want to see, you can go back to your new tab as well, and you can see how your image looks. Now if your image is distorted, if it is not coming, it's like the dimensions are weird, if it's too big, if it's too small, you can do this as well. All right, now look closely again. Okay, I want you all to follow. Before closing the tag, you can set the width as well as the height of your image here itself. Okay, now this is usually done in the style part as well, but you can do it here also. If it is distorted, for me it is not that much distorted. All right, yeah, and just write whatever you want it to be. So suppose I want it to be width to be 500, and I want my height to be let's say 200. All right, let's see, I'm not pretty sure of the dimensions, but yeah, let's just go with it. And yeah, it's just loading again. Yeah, so you can basically write your width and your height over here itself. I'll just refresh. There's some connection thing over here. Okay, we're actually pretty close to the end, guys. So I'm so glad that you all are following along. It's just reconnecting for me. again. Yeah, awesome. So by this we have set the, okay, my dimensions were already the same only. So yeah, I've set the width as well as the height also. So if it was distorted for you guys, you can write the width and height here itself as well, and just close the image tag, right, like I said before. So yeah, we've added our image this, and now we've added our width as well as the height. All right, I hope you're done with this as well. I'll wait for 2 minutes. If you have any doubts, again, just put it in the chat box. All right. And let me know. Yeah, so this was basically an image tag that helps us to add images in our HTML, all right? And SRC is the attribute to this image tag, all right? So attribute, what is attribute? Attribute is basically something that will add a property to a tag in HTML, okay? So SRC is an attribute that has to be present when you're adding an image tag, all right? Because it helps us to, link that picture to the image tag, all right? So, yeah, so basically to render it on the page as well, right? I hope you're done with this, and I hope you have no doubts till now. Give me a thumbs up or some indication again. Then we are going to move on to the footer part. Okay, now footer is very, very, very crucial. So basically, footer will have all your links. It is very important. It will have all your contact details. It will have all your links. So now we are coming on to the link, adding the link and icons wala portion. All right. So yeah, just after this UL, all right, this UL tag, the closing UL tag, I want you all to put right footer. Okay. Yeah. I want you all to write footer. We're basically creating, like we've done head, we've done body, now we've created footer. Okay, so this is going to be on the bottom of your page, and it is very, very, very crucial in a portfolio, guys. It has all your contact details, it has all the links, it'll have your, like today we are going to add your LinkedIn account or your Instagram account if you have that, and people can click on it and just get redirected to it. Okay, so it's very, very important. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of thumbs ups. I'm so glad. All right, cool. So now we are going to add our first icon, okay, in the footer tag. Okay, in the footer section, we are going to add our first icon, which is going to be for LinkedIn. All right, so I want my contact section to have my LinkedIn account. Okay, so for that, what I want to do is I will be adding an anchor tag. All right, I'm going to add an anchor tag, which is A. All right. And just like we did in, our, what do you call, image tag, I'm going to write href. I'll explain. No issues. Just follow along. I'll explain everything. Okay. And we have to now set this equal to our LinkedIn profile. So I have it copied over here in my README section. You all also copy your Instagram account or whatever you had copied, you had kept ready for the link part, and just copy paste it over here. Cool. So we have basically created an anchor tag, and we've added our link for our whatever you want to put, your profile on LinkedIn or Instagram, and you just write it just after this. All right, and then you close it. All right, and then you close it. All right, I hope you've copied. And now for it to be an icon, I'm going to do something very, very interesting over here. Okay, just follow along. I'm going to add an icon. All right, and how am I going to get that icon? I'm going to get it from the Font Awesome library. Remember that? Yeah, I've again copied it over here. I'll show it to you in just a small second. All right, I'm going to show it to you in just a moment. Yeah, so I have written this here. Okay, I class is equal to FA LinkedIn FA 3x, that's the size and all I want. Area hidden is equal to true, and then I've closed it. So FA is font awesome. If you're able to see my screen, I'll show it to you. I'll show the library to you, and I'll show how awesome it is. Yeah, I think you can see it. So these are all the icons that you can use, okay, for your website, okay, for your portfolio. What you have to do, you just have to click on it. All right, just click on it and you'll get the link. Okay, it's loading for me. Give me a second and then I'll show it to you. Yeah, you can get it from here also. Copy HTML you can see. You can use from anywhere. All right, so these are all the icons that you can use. These are free to use. I've selected the free wala option, and then you can use any of these on your for your portfolio. So this is where I got this link, this thing that you can see, FAFA LinkedIn. So if you see in your footer section, you might see an IN symbol, all right, for your LinkedIn account. If you have an Instagram account, you can either explore Font Awesome library later. Yeah, just do it later because it will take some time. So for now, just put this icon of LinkedIn, which looks so cool, and I will show it to you. I will show something very interesting as well. I hope you all are following. Yeah, I'll show it to you guys. So when you come to your portfolio site, right, this is what we've built till now. When you click on LinkedIn, this icon, see, you redirected to my page. So hello everyone, this is my page. All right, so this is me. And so what just happened, we just clicked on our IN button and we were redirected to my LinkedIn account. All right, so this is what this anchor tag does over here. All right, so we've added the link to where we want to be redirected to, and we've added the icon on which when people click, they can be redirected there. Awesome. Did you guys like that? I hope you all are done with that. How about we add for another one? What say? Let's add our you guys have an Instagram account, you guys might have some other account, some Twitter account as well. If you have the link ready, go ahead, or you guys are fine with LinkedIn as well. Just for you guys, I'll just add another one as well. Okay, I'm going to add what do you call this? Yeah, another link. All right, it's my Medium account. If I have the link ready, oh yes, I do. Awesome. I'll just copy paste the link and I'll go back, and the same steps. I've created an anchor tag. All right, and I'm doing this. It's a self-closing one, and then I am going to go back to my Font Awesome library. I hope you all are following. And I'm going to go back to my Font Awesome, and I'm just going to search for Medium. Okay, so for all of you who don't know, Medium is basically an account where you can, a site where you can write your blogs. All right, I'll just copy this from here. And again, I class. And I've done this. Yeah. Oh, it's coming 2 times. I'll just remove that. Yeah. I hope you guys can see it now. All right. Yeah, it's coming too close, but no issues. All right. I can. Okay. Yeah. Great. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Awesome. So we have added a footer section already. That is pretty exciting. And again, this is a very important thing. If you wish, you can just add one only. It's totally fine. I'll remove that because some of you don't have the links. I know that. It's perfectly all right. Now, one more thing that I want you guys to do it's pretty magical. Just click on format this file. All right. And once you do that, it just basically formats your file. It's easier to read, and it is more understandable. All right, so that is what we just did right now. We just formatted our file. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute just take everything in, and just I hope you all are on the same page and you've added the footer section as well. Then we're going to do something that is actually the last part. We'll be adding sections. I don't basically like this white space. This is too, I don't like that. We should do proper utilization of space, and that actually really counts as well. So I want this hobbies part to come over on the right hand side, because why waste this space, right? So that is what we'll be doing up next. I'll give you 1 minute. Just I hope if you want to add any more elements, you can do that in the meanwhile if you're already done. And for those who are lagging a little bit behind, you can, just cover up and do what I've done on the screen. I've opened it for you guys. If you want to add more hobbies for yourself, you can do that. If you want to add your blogs, you can do that. Whatever you want. Yeah, and I'll wait for 1 minute. And just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go to the next portion. Yeah, I hope I explained the anchor tag correctly. I'll just reiterate. So anchor tags are basically, they will help you to be redirected to wherever you want. Okay, so we have this href attribute similar to the one we had in images as well, right? So you will be providing the link to wherever you want the user to be redirected to inside the anchor tag. All right, and itag has a lot of uses, but the main one being icons. So we've added the icons, right? So that's what I had shown you, the font awesome library from where we imported the icons, right? So that all is added here in the I class. So that's the syntax that we have. All right. I hope it's clear. Now, as I was saying, I don't like that white space at all, and it's actually not very efficient as well. So let's just add something to, let's just add a section. Okay, let's just divide it into two sections. And let's use div to, just format it a little bit more. So I want you all to come to the top of the page again. All right, and inside the body before your h1 tag, I want you all to write section. Just follow along again. All right, section class. We're pretty close to, being done with the hands-on part, and I'm so happy that you guys are following along so nicely. So section class, I'll just remove the closing tag. You guys will also get a don't worry, the site will get a little, here and there, but we'll correct that in a minute. No issues at all. And write div class is equal to left. All right. So what have we done till now? We just created a section class called main. All right, and after that we've basically created a division class, and we've aligned it to the left. Okay, and just close this, just remove all the closing tags for now, because we are doing it after we've written the code, right? So we'll put it in the right positions later on. So what have I done? Just below body, I want you all to put a section class is equal to main and div class is equal to left. All right, now I want you all to close your first division that you've created just before hobbies. Remember, I wanted this hobbies portion to be on the right side, right? So just before that, I want you all to close the first div. All right, it will automatically get typed as well. So just above hobbies, I want you all to close the div. Right, next, what I want you to do is create a div class is equal to right. Right, remember, remove the closing tags here, because we're doing this after we've already written the code, and just put the closing tags wherever you want it to end, right? If you want the entire hobbies, only the hobbies part to be on the right side and not the blogs part, you can just you just close the div part after the hobbies, right? But we want both hobbies as well as blogs to be on the what do you call, right hand side, right? So I am going to close this after the blogs part, right? So I'll close this just over here. All right, I've created div class right? I'll close this here. Just above the footer. All right. And after that, I want to close my section as well, right? It will automatically get typed. All right. So we have closed it now. All right. And after this, we have the footer section, right? Don't worry, the site on the right side you'll see a lot of here and there happening, but it'll all make sense after we have done this. So what did we just do? We created sections, right? So this over here is going to be on the right side till we close it, right? And this part is going to be on the left side, right, till here. I'll show it to you on the big screen. Yeah, see how it looks way better now, right? It looks way better, right? All right, give me a thumbs up again if you're done. I think there's a 5-second lag, no issues about that. Yeah, you can see how like it's on the right side now. The space is being utilized, right? And you can see it on the right side as well. It looks pretty neat. I hope you all are doing good. You guys have followed what I did. I basically added just 2 lines over here and I've closed them afterwards, right? Wherever I wanted to. If I didn't want hobbies to be on the right side, I would have just closed it like above that itself, right? It's all depending upon you, but I like this way better. You can see on my right side, I've just increased. It looks way better, right? All right. So this was actually it from my side. I hope you have followed along. This was actually the HTML part that we have just done. If we have time, yeah, all right, Sanya. I hope everybody followed along. If you have any doubts, please do mention in the chat box. Um, Right. This was the HTML part. Now Sanya is going to help you guys in the styling part, right? That is actually the fun part. And, to make it more attractive. And we've already pre-written the code. So she's going to basically take you along and explain each and every component. And yeah, so I want you all to listen very carefully. Yeah, so I'll just
Thank
hand it
you,
over to
Preksha.
you. Yeah.
Thank you, Preksha. Thank you for the fun hands-on session. I'm sure you guys have had fun and are little fascinated, maybe having made portfolio for yourself. But hang in there, hang in, don't go yet, because we aren't done with the hands-on session yet. To make your portfolio look more visually appealing, with a dash of, let's say, colors of your choice this time, playing around with different styles, let's get started with something called as the CSS. I hope my screen is visible to you guys.
Yes, it is. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for, everybody who was like very interactive, Sanya. It really helped me also to, know what the status is.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that that was there. So yeah, go on, just
Absolutely.
let's start with the styling part.
Okay, guys. So just hang in there for maybe 15 more minutes and then we'll make your website look more colorful and visually appealing. Okay. So before we get started with CSS, let me tell you what it is actually. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Okay. And it's a language that basically describes the style of an HTML document. So a CSS describes how the HTML elements are to be displayed onto your screen. And CSS also saves a lot of your work in time and the number of lines that you write in order to code. How it saves a lot of time, that you guys will eventually know as we move forward. Okay. So now before we actually go into C++, I'll head back to index.html. Just to explain something to you guys. I hope the index.html is seen on the screen to you guys. You can maybe give like a thumbs up or a yes, and then we'll just continue from there. So as I said earlier, HTML is like gives it's the structure of your website or your web page, and CSS just adds on to beautifying your website. And okay, now since thank you guys, thank you for being an amazing audience. Okay, let's say you want to style a particular thing. Let's say you want to style body, or you want to like, okay, so for example, let's take body. Your body starts here, and the body tag starts here and it ends somewhere, let's say, I think down here, right? And let's say you want to style the whole of all the elements that come under any text, any tag that comes under body. You want to style that in a particular pattern, let's say maybe colors or fonts or something like that. So you directly write the HTML tag here, body, and whatever fonts, I mean, whatever styling you want to give, you can give that. We'll get to the styling. But it can also be that, let's say, coming back to your index.html, that you don't want to style an entire tag in your HTML. You just want to style a part of it. Like, for example, here, you guys can see Preksha has given a div, right? So this div, which says div class left, it starts here, line 24, and it ends at line 43. You just want to style whatever comes under this particular div, right? Let's say you want to style whatever is there under this particular div. Now you can see there's a bunch of divs on top and bottom, but you want to style only this particular. So how do you refer to that in your CSS? Like I said, for body, you directly mentioned body, right? But for a particular div that you want to style, how do we address that in your CSS? You just use something called as class. So class is like a selector for you. Okay, a class is selector is the keyword here. So a class, basically you just write the keyword class is equal to, in brackets, what you can give any name to your class. Okay, let's say ABC, left, right, XYZ, anything. Okay, so since I've mentioned it as class left over here, we come back to our CSS. I hope it's visible. I'll just wait for a second for you guys. Okay, I think it's here. Right. So like I told you guys, class.left. You can see we're addressing class here, class left over here. Now, how do you address the class? How do you address the class? You can see that something here is different. When we refer to body, there was no class here. We directly put in the tag, the element name, the tag name, body. But here, we're putting in the class name. So how does the compiler know that we are putting a class name and not a tag name? Simply by, if you precede the class name with a dot operator here, like you can see here, that means your compiler will understand, okay, so the developer, that is you're referring to something called as the class. Okay, and the class name, yes, like I told you, it can be anything, ABC, XYZ, etc., etc. Okay, so that's how you refer to what element you want to style in your HTML. And of course, we'll get to the styling bit. But again, before we get down to the styling bit, there's something called as the box model in CSS, which is super important. And it's some basics about CSS that you guys should know. Okay, so yeah, I hope it's visible to you guys, and I'm not going too fast. Let me know in the comment section if I'm going too fast, guys, or if you want me to slow down. I don't want to keep you guys hanging for a longer time. It's already been like more than an hour. So we'll quickly just go through a couple of more things and then we'll wind up. So you can give me a yes or a thumbs up in the chat box so that I know it's okay and you guys are able to follow. Right? Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So let's take an element here. So this is something called as the developers tool, and it's available in all of your PCs and laptops. Okay. All right. Let's refer to this. Let's inspect one element. For example, body. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So let's take the element body here. And you can see a set of grids here, right? And you can see there's some dimensions to the grid, which is blue in color. and so on and so forth. There are dashes across. Now, the grid in blue. Okay, so what is the grid in blue? Basically, you can see a dimension. The dimensions are nothing but your length and your height. And the thing that actually goes into the blue strip of shape there, the rectangular blue strip, stands for the content. So basically, that part represents your content, which you put onto your HTML file, right? So the content can be, of course, it can be a text, an image, a video, etc., etc. So that is called your content, and the blue rectangle represents exactly that. Now, around the content, you have something called as the padding layer. So, okay, it's basically a clear area around the content, and the padding is usually transparent. You can't see it. Okay, you can see the content, right? You can, when you go here, like the output, you can see all of this. This is your content. You have some text, you have some images, you have a link. This is your content, right? But padding is a layer around the content which is transparent. Now you'll understand why we're even talking about this, why we need padding and border, etc. Now coming on to border. So a border is something that goes around the padding and the content. Okay, and similarly, like you can see margin, it's a clear area outside the border, and the margin is also like the padding. The margin is also transparent. You can't see it. Okay. Um, so the CSS box model, this sums up your box model in short. Okay, so the box model essentially it allows you to add a border around the elements. So your element is the, like I told you, the rectangular strip, right? The blue strip. That is your element. Okay, that represents your element here. And so your box model allows us to border around all the elements and to define a space between the elements. So that is essentially, just a brief about your box model. Now, you can see that your content here has a particular dimension. You must be wondering, why don't the other three have a dimension? Why is it a dash? That is because in this case, it is zero. Okay, a dash represents zero. The spacing here is zero. It's nil. It's a dash. Okay, suppose you want to give it a padding on top here. Let's say 10 pixel. So 10 is the number, and pixel, of course, you guys know it's the unit, right? So we have a bunch of units. I'll get to that as well. So let's say 10 pixel. So this essentially puts, probably it's not reflecting now. Okay. So that basically it puts a spacing, it puts a transparent spacing around your content. So on top, you will have a spacing of, you'll have a padding, to be particular, because I've given only a padding on top of 10 pixels. So you'll have a padding, a space, a transparent space above your content of 10 pixels. Similarly, you can go on, you can put it on the right side as well, wherever you wish to. You can put it on right, you can put it on the left side, you can put, let's say, 15 pixel. Okay, you've put, let's say, 15 pixel. And so it's going to go on and, give you guys a padding, a transparent space below, because here I've put it below this time. So it's going to give you below a space, a transparent space below your content of 15 pixel. So likewise, you can also have it on left, right. You can give it even in the border, say border left. Let's take left, say 5 pixel. Okay, so from the left side you have a border spacing of 5 pixel. So again, so this is the box model, gives you it just helps you define the space across and around your elements. All right, so that sums up the box model. And I hope I'm not going too fast, guys. And you can just give me probably an indication in the chat box if I'm going too fast, if it's a little slow, if it's a little confusing, if you have any questions, and let me know, and then I'll understand. I'll give you a minute or two from here. We are close to the end, so just hang in there. Okay, you can give me an indication in the chat box, and then I'll resume. So we haven't done anything yet, right, with the CSS. We are still sort of, I just explained the box model to you, how we address a particular element in the CSS, right? So yeah, I'll just wait for, say, 1 minute, okay? And then we'll get started. Okay, all right. Hope you guys have understood until here. We'll get started now with basic coding here and there, not much, just basics. So like now you guys know how to refer to your CSS element, right? So now coming to the styling, here we have font family. So basically whatever comes under your body element, your body tag in HTML, you have certain texts and all of that, right? So that is getting styled in let's say Georgia and Arial, etc., etc. Okay, so that this font family is basically a property. Okay, this is the property, and these values, these are called the values that you give to the property. So when you say Georgia, that's exactly what your text font will look like. Okay, and there are a bunch of fonts on Google. You can always Google it up. For example, you can come here. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, okay. So you can always come here, type googlefonts.com, and you can come here and you can see, like, you can see a bunch of fonts. So you can see Roboto and Open Sans, right? Etc. etc. So whatever font you like, whichever size you want in that, right? You can choose that, select that. So there's a copy option. You can come, copy it, and paste it onto your editor, right? Wherever you're typing in your CSS, right? You just take the name and you can put it there, and that's exactly what your it'll reflect onto your output screen. Okay, so going back to the CSS code, I hope there's no lag. Yeah, okay, we're back on the screen. So after, I hope you guys have understood the font family. Like I said, font family, this is a property. It's a keyword. It carries a certain meaning to the compiler. When you write font family, the compiler knows that, okay, so you're going to describe the font family, the font for the text to be appearing in. Okay, and margin. So I think after I have explained the box model to you guys would have gotten a gist about margin. So when I say margin 3% here, you know that it's going to be it's going to give a spacing across your body, in this case your body tag. So whatever elements are there in your body tag, across that you will have a margin of 3%. Okay, and here I would also like to add in a point. When you say 3%, where do you think this is being applied? On top, left, bottom, or right? Where do you guys think it's getting applied? Can you write that in the chat box? Do you think it's getting applied to top, or the spacing is getting applied on top or left, or say right or bottom, or do you think all four sides? What do you guys think? I would like to know from you guys. Make a a random guess. That's okay. I'm waiting for you guys in the chat box. Even if you don't know, I mean, don't be scared to. There are hardly 5 options, right? It's either on top, left, bottom, right, or all 4 sides. You never know. Still waiting for you guys in the chat box. All around. Someone says all around. Right, that's absolutely right. Thank you so much. So, right, like you said, thank you so much, Vikash. Thank you so much. So, like Vikash said, it's going to get applied to all 4 sides. Okay, so when you write margin, again, this is a property. When you write margin followed by one number and its unit, that means it's going to get applied to all the 4 sides. Okay. Now, same thing if we edit and we put 2 numbers, let's say 4% here, 4%. Where do you think this will get applied? This will essentially get applied. The first number gets applied on top and bottom, and the second number gets applied, that is 4 pixel, will get applied on your right and left respectively. Okay, So when you give one number, it's all four sides. When you give two numbers, the first number is going to get applied to your top and bottom. The second number gets applied to your right and left. Now you can go further and give a third and fourth number. Let's say 5 pixel and 6 pixel. Okay, so now you've given all four sides. So this is pretty self-explanatory, I think, right? um, so yeah, your 3 pixel is going to get applied to your top, your 4 pixel is going to get applied to your right. So it's just going to go in like clockwise direction, top, right, bottom and left. Okay, so we'll just leave it to what it was before without editing. If you guys wish, you can of course edit it as you want. Okay, so I think we're running out of time, so I'll quickly go through the rest of it. Now, like we were addressing the body tag here, same way we're addressing the H1 and H2 tag, where we're styling them in a different way here under H1. So whatever comes under H1, we're giving the text there a different, we're giving it a cursive, font, and we're giving it a certain color. Now, color. Now here, Preksha has, directly mentioned the name of the color, right? So you can also use something called as the hexadecimal value if you don't know, because we have more colors than just the primary colors, right? That is red, green, blue. You have more such colors like dark slate blue. Who would knew that I mean, a word like that, the name like that for color exists, right? So if you don't know the name, you can always head over to something called as the color palette. I hope it's visible. Yeah, okay. So yeah, like you can see on your screens, you can always go to your browser and write colorhunt.co. And when you go there, you can see like a bunch and different, sets of colors, funky, junky, whatever, crazy colors. Some of them really appealing and some of them just out there. So like you can see when I hover upon these colors, there's a hexadecimal value attached to them, right? There's a sort of, let's take green for example. Let's take this green so that you guys know. You can just come here and copy it. Like you saw that it's copied. So you come here, copy it, copy whichever color you like, go back to your styles.css. Okay, just go back to your styles.css, and wherever the color is written, like for example, if you don't know the name, you can always backspace and yeah, you can, don't forget the hashtag because that's important. Okay, so this completes your hexadecimal value, and if you go back, I think this is still reconnecting. You should be able to see whatever is there under H1 in this particular color. Yeah, like you can see here on your screen, Preksha Mathu, right? It's in green color, whatever color that you choose. So I just picked up green so that you guys can, you can see it for yourself. It may not be a visually appealing color here, but it's just for you explanation purpose, and you guys can put in whatever color you want, right? Whatever that you like. And yeah, similarly, coming back to CSS, we have H2 where there's another slate blue color. You can always, like, I hope you guys have understood the color part. And right, so here I have explained to you guys what class was all about, right? So this is how we're referring to the class name called main here. And of course, how do you know you're referring to a class? Because you're preceding the class name with the dot operator. Now, under main, again, we're styling it with a bunch of styles. Here we have height, right? So whatever content is there under the main class, whatever content is there, we're giving it a height of 70 VH. VH stands for view height. Again, another unit. And we have something called as display flex and justify content. I don't really want to go into the depth of that because that's something you will realize when you just get more accustomed to coding CSS, because I mean, just as you get more experience, you try out different styles for yourself. It's going to you're going to understand it all by yourself. I don't, since this topic is, I mean, this webinar is for basics, we'll just stick on to that. I don't want it to get overwhelming for you guys. Okay, so here I'll just come to the next segment quickly. here we have something called, like, now you must be wondering why are there two classes here, right? Like here there's one class, main. Here we have two classes, left and right. So this is known as grouping of selectors, grouping of a class. And why we do that is because here, look inside the brackets, we're giving it the same style, right? Now, how else could I have written this? I could have written as dot left with something, dot right with the same thing. So instead of, just writing multiple set of lines again and again, instead of repeating those lines, I have, since both of these classes, left and right, we want to give it the same styling. We're just grouping the classes and we're giving it the same style. It just saves your time. And that's how, like I told you initially, it saves a lot of your time and work. So this is one of the factors where you can understand that, yes, it does. Okay. And coming to the image part, again, image tags, Preksha has given it a height, width, and margin, like here you can see, right? So margin, she's given the 3VH applies to your top and bottom, and 0 applies to your right and left. Now, like if I go back to the output screen here, I hope it's loading. Yeah, I think it's there for you guys. Okay, so when I go to the output screen, like you can see the image here, for all of you must have been a square. And let's say you don't want it to be a square. You want it to like maybe get a little rounded from the corners. So that also you can do using CSS. Let's get back to the code. So wherever the image, wherever we're referring to the image tag, you can come back and you can write something known as the border hyphen radius. Again, this is your property. Okay, it carries a special meaning to the compiler. And followed, of course, your property followed by a certain value and its unit. Don't forget that. Now, what will this do is, if you guys keenly observe, right, very carefully, we've rounded the corners from all the four sides. So that's exactly what your border hyphen radius does. So how much ever unit I've given it 10 pixels, right? If you probably do it more, it'll round about more. Okay, so that's essentially, we've just rounded the corners to give it a better look, maybe. Okay, so if you want, you guys can do that as well. And again, coming back to CSS. So these are, different styles, right, that you guys can do and just innovate and create different web pages, etc., etc. Here again, Preksha is changing the color of a certain element. Here again, let's come to footer now. So now you guys know text align, padding, background color. Okay, these are all properties. I think background color is pretty self-explanatory, right? So basically you're giving a color to your entire background. Like here it's white, but in the output screen it's little white, like off-white or something, right? So that, and here you can see border style, right? So if we go back to the output screen, the end result, and if you guys notice, here, this is called your footer, right? This is what we're referring to as footer. Here you will see there's like a double line across your border, right? There's a double line across your border. Now, what if you don't want it to be a double line and you want it dotted, or like you want it to have a 3D effect, a shadow, and all of that? That too you can do with your CSS. Okay, let's say you want to come down here. Let's go back to the CSS file. And okay, let's write probably the same thing, border style. Again here, border style is your property, and double. So double is what exactly you saw the border, right? It was double border. It had like two lines going across the border. Let's say you don't want double and you want it to be dotted, for example. Okay, so dotted is another value. And having made it dotted, let's go back to the output screen. I hope it's visible to you guys. I'll just wait for a second or two. Right. I think it's loaded for you guys. Now you can see that we have a dotted border, right? So now we have a dotted border. Before it was double, you could see two lines going across, and now it's dotted. So guys, I mean, that's exactly what CSS does. It helps you style your web page according to the colors you want, the fonts you want. You can change them, the styling, right? You can make this border dotted, dashed. You can do a lot of things. You can also add color to your border. Here you can see it's black. You can add a bunch of colors. So for all of that, um, you're just gonna learn it as and when you dirty your hands and actually start coding. Start You can make mistakes, you will always learn. You can see, you can mismatch a bunch of colors like I showed you from colorhunt.io and all of that. You can always go there. Google fonts, you can try that out. If you don't want these fonts for your portfolio, you can always go and probably put a different sort of good looking font. And yeah, so I think that's more or less about CSS, just giving you a gist here and there. Box model is important, don't forget that. And of course, CSS is all about styling and making your website look good. And having said that, I think I hope I didn't go too fast because we were running out of time. Okay, and yeah, if you guys have any questions, we would love to address them and answer them. Okay,
Yeah,
and
Sanya, thank you so much. I am pretty sure all the doubts are cleared, and they've got a lot of insight into CSS and styling as well. Just one thing that I just wanted to like drop off over here is that the platform that we were using was Glitch, right? Sanya, if you don't mind, could you just show the Glitch platform once?
sure,
Just
sure.
yeah. So this whatever you've created today, it is already deployed, right? It's on glitch.com, and you can just click on share button that you might be able to see on the top left corner, and just click on the link and you can share it with anybody. So that is something that I want you guys to do. If you're up for it, just share it in the chat box. Share your portfolios with us. We would love to see what you've created and how you've customized it according to yourselves. So just click on the share button and then just click on the link to share. All right, I think it will be your live site and project links, and you can click on the link, or you can paste the link that is written under the live site section, and share it with us in the chat box. We would love to see that. In the meantime, if you have any questions, all those who want to share, just go on and share it in the chat box. And yeah, if you have any questions, we can definitely answer them.
Absolutely, guys. Like Prisha said, if you guys have made something super innovative, or even like, we're so happy that you guys have tried, being it your considering it was your first time. So we would love to actually see what you guys have done. So probably you can just share and put it up in the chat box for those of you who are comfortable in doing that. I think I'm sure you guys would have done a great job and for the first time. So me and Preksha both, we would love seeing and going through them. And of course, until then, I think we have a question here. How can we integrate CSS into a HTML page? Okay, thank you, Alpana, for the question. So, like Preksha said before, when let me go back to the index.html, and let me just scroll up a bit. And yeah, exactly here. So here you can see here this link, I've highlighted it. I hope it's visible. I'll just wait because I think there's a lag. Yeah, I think it's highlighted for you guys now. So there's something called as the link tag, which you write in your HTML page, in your wherever you code your HTML, index.html. So there's a tag called link tag, and whatever is the name of your CSS file, that's exactly what you're going to give here in under after href. So that's how you can link your HTML and CSS. I hope that answers your question. Thank you for being an amazing audience, you guys. I think there's another question by Akansha. She says, what is the default size, font size used for all CSS elements? Okay, that's a good question, Akansha. So I think the default size, font size used for all HTML elements should be 16 pixels, around that, around that. Hope that answered your question, guys. Someone says glitch didn't connect for me for some reason, so I made mine locally. I
Yeah, I
can't
was I
share
was just
mine.
reading that. No worries. You can definitely like you have the link with you. It's on YouTube. You can just like try it out later on as well. No worries. Try it out. Yeah, it sometimes takes a little while to load. Because there's so many projects that are happening. But no issues. I'm glad that what at least attempted it and did not just go away. You just tried it along with us. That is awesome. So I don't see any portfolio links here. Feel free to share. It's totally fine. If not, that's also totally fine. You can always explore more. As Sanya was also saying, you're just starting out. You guys can explore. You guys can go through as many resources as you want. Customize it according to yourselves. And as I mentioned in the beginning as well, you can add interactivity to it as well. Add animations to it as well. You're just starting out, so I hope we all cleared your basic doubts. Not we cleared the basic structure and how it actually works. And you were able to do something and you were able to build your portfolios. I see a question by Alpana. Okay. Does syntax matter in HTML? Okay. Well, syntax is necessary. I won't say that it's not compulsory, but yeah, it's not like it won't run or it won't get deployed. But yeah, it's always a good thing to follow the proper syntax. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. And we've actually exceeded the time as well. But no issues. I had lots of fun and I hope you all did too.
Absolutely. We hope that we could actually do justice for today's session. We just kept it minimal as much as we could. And, made it as interactive as possible on the hands-on session. And I hope it didn't get overwhelming for you guys. And our pace was fine when we were explaining. We didn't go too fast. Yeah. So if you guys have any further questions, we could address those. But even otherwise, you guys are such a good audience. Thank you so much for, coming over, taking our time on a Friday evening. I'm sure you guys are pretty exhausted throughout the week having classes. And thank you so much for taking the time out, you guys, and being such a lovely audience, being so interactive. Thank you.
Thank you, Preksha and Sania. It was such an amazing session on web dev. I think now we have mastered a bit on our tech skills. Through this event, we got to know quite a lot of new things which we would be carrying forward with us in future. I, on behalf of IEEE, would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speakers, Preksha Mathur and Sanya Pandita, for a great session. I would also like to thank all the participants for your active participation and cooperation. Thank you for making this event a success. Please do follow our IEEE social media handles to keep yourself updated with such innovative and exciting events in future. Thank you once again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having us. It was
Thank
a
you for
great.
being an awesome audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night. Have a good weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
everyone. Thank you so much.